Department of Animal Biotechnology, College of Veterinary Sciences, Lala Lajpat Rai University of Veterinary and Animal Sciences, Hisar, Haryana. So, Madam has completed her graduation and post-graduation from CCS HAU Hisar, PhD from Royal Veterinary College, University of London, postdoctorate from the Institute of Animal Health, uh, Pierbright, UK, and Madam has vast experience and worked in different capacities, which are veterinary surgeon, technical officer, veterinary assistant research officer, and principal scientist. So, Madam, you are being awarded with various numerous prestigious awards, honors, which include Dr. B.D. Behel Gold Medal, Certificate of Honor for Best Academic Record during graduation and post-graduation, Commonwealth Scholarship Program for pursuing PhD in United Kingdom, and postdoctoral fellowship, BioCare Fellowship, Best Researcher Award, Vigyan Ratan Award from Haryana State Council of Science and Technology, Inspiring Lady Veterinarian Award, Punjab Rao Deshmukh Outstanding Woman Scientist Award of ICR in 2021, and many more. So, Madam has numerous notable publications, and she is also an academic editor, editorial board member, referee of various reputed national and international journals, and she is also a member of various professional committees and societies. Madam is also a fellow of National Academy of Veterinary Sciences, NAS, Veterinary Research Club, UK, IVS, AMI, etc. So, Madam, your achievements are endless, and we are not able to enlist them all in such a short span of time. And we are indeed very fortunate to have you on board today. So, with these words, I would like to invite Dr. Shushila Man, ma'am, for the inaugural speech. So, over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Himani, for such a wonderful and elaborative introduction. Thank you so much. Good evening to everyone present here. And I would like to congratulate the Vital Biotech and the AFTEFS Society for organizing this wonderful online training program and inviting me at this platform for this inaugural speech. Thank you very much. I extend a warm welcome to all the dignitaries who have joined online. Professor Balwan Singh Mandal, Registrar CCS HU Hisar, Dr. Vinod Kumar Verma, Honorable Vice Chancellor Luas, Dr. Baljit Saharan, Senior Scientist CCS HU Hisar and Chairman of the conference, Dr. Sanjay Swami, who is a Professor and Organizing Secretary for this meeting, Dr. Ravi Shankar Verma, Convener of the meeting, Sanjay Kumar Bharti, who is from Bihar Animal Science University, Patna, who is also convener of this meeting, Dr. Prince from CCS HU Hisar, another convener of this meeting, Dr. Jitendra Mehta, Course Director and President AFTEFS, and Dr. Krishnendra Singh Nama, Course Coordinator and Vice President AFTEFS. I also welcome all the delegates, participants, dear students, and faculty and other participants who have joined online. So this training, 3-day training program on agripreneurship, the opportunity and current challenges, is very timely and need of the hour, as Himani has already mentioned, because agriculture is one of the largest industry in the world, and it contributes 3% of the world GDP and employ more than 1 billion people. And for India, agriculture is the key sector of Indian economy, which is accounting for around 25% of the share in the gross domestic product. In India, increased number of people, unemployed graduates living in rural areas, they are migrating constantly to the urban area in search of the job. But our country is unable to create ample job opportunities along with the economic development. The poor infrastructure and facilities in the rural areas has aggravated the population pressure on the urban, you can say, infrastructure. The agriculture market and the international trade of agriculture goods have been significantly changed during the past 30 years because the local and national markets, they are giving way to global economy. The agriculture entrepreneurship that include all the sectors like fishery, farming, forestry is very crucial because it has vast entrepreneurial opportunities like produce manufacturing, produce processing, agro input manufacturing, agro service centers, and several others. Additionally, the agripreneurship among women is a major agenda for government for better balancing in the society and for women empowerment. We know that sub-Saharan Africa and Asia, they supply up to 80% of the world's food through smallholder farming, which is preserving the lives of about 2 million people globally as per data of 2021. Despite the significance of these smallholder farmers, they struggle in several areas like poor infrastructure, lack of access to market information, and of course, the effect of climate change, which is affecting in every sphere of our life. According to the International Fund for Agriculture Development 2021, around 500 million small farms worldwide do not make enough money to raise their family above poverty line. And enhancing the smallhold farmers' participation in the market is widely acknowledged as a key component of improving the standard of the living. According to the Food and Agriculture Organization, these smallholders can access new technology and information, generate larger benefits for their goods, and generally become more productive through market connections if they enter into this entrepreneurship. This entrepreneurship teaches us the ability to launch, organize, and manage new company ventures, turn into profit. An entrepreneur whose company is engaged in agriculture is obviously known as agripreneur, and everyone, including progressive farmers, unemployed agriculture graduates, retirees, cooperatives, self-help organization can become an entrepreneur. A good entrepreneur should be able to maintain consistency. He should think positive, work smartly. He should take calculated risks, communicate effectively, and identify market opportunities. This is not an easy task because you need to take risk, adopt innovations, create and think new ways of doing things, and taps new market opportunities. So certainly it is a challenging task. And this agripreneurship, which deals with the production and selling of various agriculture goods and inputs, this is an emerging field and it is a tool for economic development for India in the new millennium. This agripreneurship, it converts the agriculture activity into entrepreneurial activities by adapting innovative ideas in agriculture and allied sectors, and it can derive changes to the rural economy. The vast prospect offered by agriculture industry have made agripreneurship a most popular venture, and this there because the vast aspects are like beekeeping, animal husbandry, fruit vegetable preservation, horticulture based enterprises, and others. So this is agripreneurship is sustainable also, and it is community oriented. What is meant by sustainable is it is a holistic system oriented approach for farming that focuses on analyzing and understanding the interrelationship of social, economic, and environmental processes. As a result, the agriculture related entrepreneurial activity, they provide a mean for increasing the household income, which is the demand of the hour, and government supports various initiatives um, regarding this. The majority of the smallholder farmers raise food for their families, and significant portion of this these days they take to the different markets. So smallholder farmers, they are trying to become agriculture businessmen, and some are already there. But the farmers entrepreneurship is very different from other kind of entrepreneurship because of the unique characteristics of the farmer entrepreneur, the rural settings, the variability of dynamic capabilities created by their interactions. The tremendous opportunity in the agriculture sectors have allowed the promotion of this agripreneurship. And there are several areas that offer promising opportunities like agribusiness, contract farming, dairy, direct and retail marketing, the insurance, organic production and food chains, pesticide and biofertilizer production and marketing, post harvest management, research and development, seed processing, soil testing laboratories, agri-ecotourism, vegetable production and marketing, and veterinary clinics and veterinary diagnostic laboratories. So there is a urgent need for better understanding of agriculture entrepreneurship dynamics from an entrepreneurial point of view. And for that, the building of fundamental skills related to agriculture research, the entrepreneurship and skill development in a range of applications are required for the growth of a country. And this is the main objective of this 3-day training workshop program. Throughout this training, the participants are expected to gain knowledge on the latest concepts underlying the variety of skill-based agri practices. For example, to create awareness of the commercial opportunity and variety of agriculture and associated industries, to understand and acquire the skill required to run a profitable business, to appreciate the importance of entrepreneur and their role in agriculture sector's market economy, to interpret the fundamental and technological knowledge of skill development and agri capitalization, to be motivated by the accomplishment of other industrial titans, to create industrial innovation created abroad or bring back the traditional Indian agriculture system. You can also participate in live sessions with seasoned and prosperous agribusiness entrepreneurs in order to understand the essential techniques for developing a winning business plan. This 3-day workshop is best suited for the students, young entrepreneurs, the agriculture graduates, and it will help in variety of way to you for improving the agriculture professionals' ability to fulfill the industry requirement for a range of roles, applying the global practices to deliver training in agriculture and related disciplines that is demand driven and aligned with business requirements. Encourage and support training, which is a skill based, create a skill inventory to aid in marketing decisions. So with these words, I like to extend a big thank you to Vital Biotech Education Group, the Agriculture Forum for Technical Education of Farming Society, Kota, Rajasthan, for organizing this wonderful online training, international training and workshop, and inviting me on this platform. Have a very successful, fruitful, and this meeting or the conference. With these words, I would like to thank again to all the organizers. Thank you very much. Jai Hind. Have a successful meeting.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for your kind and enlightening words. We are so privileged to have you today. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, Himani. Bye-bye.
Okay, now taking the program to the next segment, I would like to invite the today's guest speaker. So first of all, I would like to invite Dr. Sanjay Swami sir. So Dr. Sanjay Swami sir is professor in soil science and agriculture chemistry at School of Natural Resource Management, College of Postgraduate Studies in Agriculture Sciences, Barapani, Meghalaya, under Central Agriculture University, Imphal. Apart from teaching postgraduate students, he is an active researcher in the field of conservation and management of natural resources, especially soil and water conservation in the Indian Himalayan region for more than 18 years. Sir has handled 8 externally funded projects and contributed over 150 research papers in various journals of international repute. He has also, to his credit, 21 standard books and more than 50 book chapters. He has guided and is guiding 6 PhD and 17 MSc scholars, attended more than 35 international conferences, presented research papers, and won various prestigious awards, namely SCI Gold Medal Award, SCI Leadership Award, Dr. J.S. Bali Award, Best Soil and Water Conservatist Award, Young Scientist Award, Distinguished Scientist Award, etc. And he holds the prestigious position of National Fellow of the Soil Conservation Society of India. Sir is actively serving as the chairman of Meghalaya State Chapter, and he is the fellow of the Meghalayan University Consortium, International Center for Integrated Mountain Development, Kathmandu, Nepal, and he is mentors for interns of the Indian Knowledge System Ministry of Education, Government of India. He is also Associate Fellow at the UGC Inter-University Center at Indian Institute of Advanced Study, Rashtrapati Niwas, Shimla. And he is the ambassador of the Global Forum on Food Security and Nutrition, Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations. And also he is the member of International Advisory Council of the Grassroots Institute, Montreal, Canada. He is also the senior global fellow of the Grassroots Institute, and he is also serving as editor, associate editor, and consulting editor of many national and international journals. So today we are happy to have you with us, and I'm very sure that our participants are gonna gain so much knowledge from you. So with this word, I would like to hand over this virtual podium to you. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, Himani, for nicely introducing me. And let me take this opportunity as organizing secretary of this event to thank Professor Susila Man. He is the chief patron of this program, and he welcomed all the participants and highlighted very nicely what is the importance of agripreneurship and how we can achieve the good milestone in this area. I think I am able to speak properly. Are you hearing my voice?
Yes, sir. You're audible properly.
Okay. So after this, let me congratulate the society AFTEFS and the Vital Biotech Group for organizing this event. And of course, they have put a lot of efforts, and I hope that this training program will be very successful. I will not devote much topic on welcoming the participant, but directly coming to my topic. And for this, I am dealing with the agripreneurship, how it is providing very much opportunities for the youngsters, and maybe some other speaker will deal with the challenges. So let me first share my slides. I hope that my slides are visible.
Yes, sir. Perfect.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So as I told that I am dealing with the agripreneurship opportunities, that how we can attract the rural youth in agriculture, and how different type of agripreneurship opportunities we can avail. So friends, you know that this is a very difficult task, how we can select a proper agripreneurship. And as Professor Mann has already highlighted, that there are so many issues, and one has to be a very vigilant and very, you can say, skillful for identifying the proper agripreneurship. If we see the present scenario, right now we are around 1.27 billions. That means our population is around 1.27 billions. And by 2015, it is expected to be increased and to be by 1.65 billion. That means we are going to increase almost 30%. Now, if we see the food production scenario, food grain requirement, at present, we are having 263 million tons. While in 2050, to feed our population, we would require 377 million tons of food grain. And of course, this is almost 43% increase. Now, if we see the net cultivation area scenario, right now, whatever figures we have in 2050, we will remain almost same. That means that we would need the increase in food production from the same area. And that is possible only if we have the better utilization of our resources. We have to judiciously use all the resources which are involved in agriculture production. And out of various input, various resources, the human resource is the most important. And in human resource also, a very big and very vibrant community is youth. If you see the definition, what characteristics youth have? Youths are enthusiastic, vibrant, they are innovative in ideas, dynamic in nature, they have this strong passion, motivation, and willpower. Now, actually, what is youth? If we see, then UN has adopted a different age group, that from 15 to 24 years they call as youth. But our national youth policy in 2003, they have accepted the age of 13 to 35 to call as youth. After that, in 2014, again, the national youth policy, they have modified it and redefined it, that the age group of 15 to 29 years, they are called as youth. Now, we have various opportunities. Our nation, our country has the highest number of youth from 10 to 24 years. Despite the China, that is almost near to us. But if we see the two other countries, important countries in Asia, those are China and Indonesia. These two countries even are not going to remain younger in comparison to our country. That means in the coming years, Indian population will be more in younger category. Now, in 2020, we have the share of 34.33% population of youths. That means we have very good strength, that we have the more population of youth that can contribute in the development of nation and of course GDP in agriculture. Now, there are some reasons that why agriculture is not attractive, why the youth, they are leaving the agriculture. Yes, our forefathers, they are certainly doing agriculture, but if we see the generations, the younger generations, they are even preferring the job of clerk, but they are not willing to do the agriculture. And I have listed some of the reasons. The first and foremost is the low identity and self-image. Everywhere, just I want to quote that wherever we have in our childhood read, we always read there was a poor farmer. We have never read that there was a big farmer or very, you can say the rich farmer. So this is the image created by the society, that farmers, they have to work in soil, they are having dirty clothes, they are not having good identity or self-image. And of course, the clerical job, they are considered as that are considered as a white collar job. That's why our youth are leaving the agriculture. And the second thing is that, of course, it is considered that farming is not a profitable job. We cannot earn much, because in our traditional way, at that time, our goal was just to feed the family. It was not considered as industrial agriculture, but now the preference has changed. And the third and foremost is inadequate skills and knowledge on all the three aspects of production, processing, and business. And this part we are going to address through this training and workshop program. We want to increase the skill of our youth on production technology, processing technology, and of course, agri-entrepreneurship. Then one another reason is the lack of infrastructure. Friends, if you have got the chance to visit abroad, you will see many of the good infrastructures, storage facilities, road facilities, electricity facilities. But here in villages particularly, we are not having such type of facilities. Then lack of supportive government policies and programs. That is also one of the reasons. I have told that this is the thinking that farmers, they are not going to affect the government. They are not united. They are not considered as a good, you can say, the vote bank. They can be just, there are some ways that their vote can be easily earned. That every government, since the independence, they are not supportive for the farmers. And of course, the lack of organization of the young farmers. They are not united. They are not having much self-help groups. They are not in a position to unite and fight with the government to get supportive policies. So these are some of the reasons. Then coming to the rural youth. Yes, youth may be in cities, they are getting jobs and they are educated, they are finding their ways to earn the livelihood. But the rural youth, they are very particularly, I want to say that their skill and their potential is untapped. They are neglected by the government and many other organizations. We are still not able to make full use of their energy and their potentials. And that's why Professor M.S. Swaminathan has said that the youth can be attracted and retained in farming only if it is become economically rewarding and intellectually satisfying. That means we have to make our agriculture profitable. And there are so many initiatives taken by Indian Council of Agriculture Research. I want to just highlight few of them, like this Farmer First program. Here, the focus particularly of research identification is the farmer. We have to prioritize our research on the basis of farmer's problem. Here, first does not mean that we have to take farmer first, but it means something. First means farm, innovation, resource, science, and technology. Likewise, for students, ICRF started one program, Student Ready program, this Rural Entrepreneurship Awareness Development Yojana. And it has the 5 components. I think many of the graduates know this, that it is experience in learning, rural awareness, work experience, then hands-on training, skill development training, and the students' projects. Likewise, one program is Maya, motivating and attracting youth in agriculture, and another one is Arya, attracting and retaining youth in agriculture. I am not going in detail. Then friends, as many people say that in rural areas, we are lacking the facilities, there is no infrastructure. But what I feel that rural place is right now, as on today, are the actual places of opportunity. We have to work there. If we are focusing or we are setting any entrepreneurship, particularly agri-entrepreneurship in those areas, we can excel in many ways. There are unlimited potential, and we can set all the 3 types of industries entrepreneurship programs like this: primary maybe agriculture, secondary maybe industry, and tertiary maybe service sector. We have to tap these opportunities. And as Professor Mann has highlighted, that for this we need to integrate skills and knowledge to establish or to start right type of enterprises which can be sustainable in due course of time with a close eye on the market, because market is very important. If you are producing anything, you are processing, but market is not available, you are not going to get good price. Likewise, we have to do SWOT analysis. We have to identify strength, weakness, threat, and opportunities before starting any startups or agri entrepreneurship. Because all those things are based on knowledge, skill, attitude, what are the resources available there, particularly on site. And then we have to choose from a multivariate type of entrepreneurship. We have to mix our ideas in a judicious way. What are our interests, what we want to achieve. And of course, we have to adopt professional approach. Then what opportunities are available, particularly in rural areas, what the youth in rural areas can adopt as a startup or as agri entrepreneurship. I am just giving some examples, and one is apiculture. You know, honey is the one of the most consumed natural sweet food material which we can get from the honeybees. It is very good business, and it can be stored for long way without any refrigeration facility. It is a very much of this valuable product which can be used in making many type of products like cosmetics and all those things. And here I have highlighted the values in rupees, that how much we have to invest. Here, what is required is, I have just given that number of beehives, 50 boxes, that cost of comb foundation seed, 700 rupees per kg, likewise cost of sugar, cost of nucleus box, cost of hive stand. What is the requirement? What materials we need? How how much means we have to spend if we are going to establish a colony of 50 bees. And here I want to just highlight that if we are using different species, even then the profit can be different. If we are reading Serena, then the actual profit after just minus all the expenditure, that it is around 71,400. And if we are reading mellifera species, then we can earn up to 2,10,500 rupees. Then the second one is round the year mushroom cultivation. Friends, you know that mushroom can be cultivated throughout the year, because different species, they require different type of temperature, different spawn temperature, different temperature for cropping. And here I have highlighted the temperature required. You can see that different type of temperature which we can avail during the different type of months. And this chart, you can see that different species can be cultivated at different time, and only the month of June is, I think, blank here. Otherwise, throughout the year we can we can just have the crop of different species. And you know that if we are going to produce something throughout the year, we can have economic return throughout the year, we can generate employment opportunities throughout the year, and we can utilize our resources, our the infrastructure throughout the year, and we can get the continuous nutrition of the for the family members throughout the year. Here, these are the 3 steps like spawning, composting, and cropping. And this is the tentative layout for a 25 to 30 ton per annum capacity of the mushroom production unit. These are some of the photographs where we have worked and we have taken these mushroom production activities. And of course, there are some of the very good medicinal and very rich mushrooms like this oyster, golden pleurodistes, and these are having very good medicinal value, very good protein, carbohydrate, mineral, and of course, these are very good source of various type of vitamins. Then the poultry farming, again, you know how much poultry is consumed in the country. It can be easily domesticated and it requires less capital, less maintenance cost, less space, and fetches very good price in the market. And you know that it is the fastest growing and most profitable agribusiness. So these are one can also adopt. If we see the benefit cost ratio of poultry cultivation, it is around 1.61. Then likewise, dairy farming, and we can rear these cattle, buffaloes, of even the exotic breeds also, and the BC ratio for buffalo, for crossbreed cow, and for indigenous, it has been reported as 1.76, 1.79, and 1.57. Then fish farming also is one of the very good, you can say, the agri-entrepreneurship in areas where fish are consumed. And of course, here we recommend the composite fish culture farming because different type of species can be reared in the same pond in the different depth of waters, like this katla, rohu, mrigal, and common carp and grass carp, because they have the different feeding habit. Like katla feeds on the surface of the water, whereas rohu are the middle zone feeders. Mrigal and common carp, they are the bottom feeder, and this grass carp particularly, they feed on the weeds. So this is also a very good entrepreneurship opportunities. Likewise, sericulture, you know that the production of raw silk by means of rearing caterpillars, it is very good business and we can have a good profitable venture. Then protected cultivation, where in the protected these houses we can maintain microclimate, we can create the conditions which is required for cultivating different type of high value crops like vegetables, capsicum, cucumber, French bean, cabbage, chilies, and in flowers like rose, gerbera, carnation, and of course we can have the very good BC ratio for capsicum. I have mentioned here like this 1.18 to 1.85. Then we can go for off-season cultivation of vegetables in very what to say low-cost structures. This is very good and typically low tunnel structure where just we have to arc-like structure with the polythene and we can cultivate. We can maintain the microclimate here also. Then these are some of the high value crops like blueberries, strawberries, saffron, king chilies, kiwis. Those can be cultivated in cut flower. I have already mentioned that cut rose, cut chrysanthemum, carnation, then lilium, gladiolus. All those things can be cultivated in the protected cultivation or autumn. Then nursery raising, friends, this is also a very good business, particularly in the cities where many, you can say the rich people, they are not cultivating, they are not raising in nursery, but for their, you can say the interest, they are simply purchasing the nursery plants from the different type of nurseries. So here also we have the huge demand for particularly vegetables and fruits and flowers. Then, of course, the medicinal and aromatic plants. Nowadays, people are very health conscious, and even they are taking sugar-free teas from stevia and all other things. That I want to highlight here, that there are different type of herbs that are used as drugs, and of course in culinary purpose. So that those plants can also be raised and cultivated with a very good profit. Then friends, nowadays we are also having one approach of this integrated farming system, because here we have different type of entrepreneurship with different type of components which we are raising in a small area. And this system is very promising, as it ensures the food security as well as nutritional security, financial security, and environmental security. Because one enterprises is giving some earnings at the one time, whereas the second or third may be giving these some earning in the next coming months. Then these are the some of the examples like this promotion of agro industry, increased input efficiency, cost. These are the benefits from the this IFS. Then the new concept is coming, like this eco village or this eco park. Here, particularly in, you can say the tourism purpose, we are having this type of agripreneurship provisions. And here we have to plan all those components like forest, crops, food courts, traditional attaris, games, sports and handicrafts, and host farmers, huts and guest houses, and of course the people for just taking the rest, or after the exhaustion from the their business, they are going outside and staying in the eco village or eco park. These are some of the glimpses which I have visited near to my place, that this type of activity is performed in this eco village or eco park, which people are enjoying. Then one new term or one new concept is value farming. Whatever we are having, that products can be processed and transforms from the raw agriculture products to something new after packaging, and maybe different type of processing are being adopted in those. And here I have given the example of different products from only two products, from mushroom and honey. From mushroom, we can have mushroom pickle, mushroom nuggets, mushroom cookies, mushroom soup, mushroom ketchup, mushroom candy. Likewise for honey, honey drink, honey jam, honey cake, honey vinegar, honey wine. And likewise for different products, we can have different type of ideas and different type of products. And for fish, like fish vada, fish cutlet, fish chakli, fish balls, fish sauces, fish pickles. There are different type of, you can say, innovations which are going in the market. Then, of course, now organic and you can say the natural farming is also one of the big concept, because people are, again, I am saying, the very much health conscious. They want to purchase quality produce, and of course, when you are going through organic cultivation, the product has the very good premium prices. Yes, then one of the things is that our government is focusing on organic agriculture, organic farming, but frankly speaking, that inputs for organic agriculture is very much required, which is lacking. even we are not finding the good source of nutrients, particularly in organic farming. Then for controlling pests and insects, again, there is lack of organic insecticide, pesticides. So all those are the areas where one can have some rural agro entrepreneurship type of things and can earn good money, like vermicomposting. I am not going in much detail. Vermicomposting. Then here I have again given the this how much we have to spend and how much we can earn from the vermicompost unit. Then vermivash, then biogas slurry. These can be utilized as a nutrient source in the organic farming. And biochar is also one of the potential, you can say, the amendment, particularly in hilly areas where we have acidic soils. This is the process that how farmers at farm level and at their own level, they can prepare biochar and utilize it or sell it. This is the automatic biochar production unit which we have in our area, in our institute. Then nowadays, this in natural farming or what to say, this organic farming, many of the formulations, liquid bioformulations are available, and many industries are coming up. Just they are providing the ready-made material. Otherwise, the people or the farmer or rural youth can have this type of agri entrepreneurship in their areas also, like this Panchgavya, Jivagavya, Bizamarta. So all then I have also discussed about this biopesticide, particularly many products are being prepared from the neem. So these are then again setting up of this soil testing laboratories. It is also a very good profitable when you can say the venture where we can have the mini soil testing laboratories and we can just analyze the soil samples and we can provide in the form of soil health card, the soil fertility status to the farmers in that particular area. Then custom ironing centers, friends, because farmers, they can't purchase all agriculture implements. So if we have the 35 HP tractor, means small tractor, power tiller, multi-crop power thresher, winnower, so those can be, you can say the just can be rented for time being. The charge may be per hour or something like this, but this center can be created and it can facilitate in the rural area. So there are ample opportunities which we have in rural areas, but for this we have to make our youth skilled. There are many programs like Skill India, and government is supporting the rural startups. So we have to tap the potential. And with this message, I hope that many of the youngsters will choose any of the idea which can be replicated or suitable in their areas. So thank you very much for your patience hearing. And at the end, again, I would like to thank Dr. Jitendra for having very good this program. So it will be a very beneficial for the youngsters. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for this wonderful session. And you have discussed various ideas which one can opt for in their career. And we have got some questions regarding that. So one of the participant is asking, like you have discussed about various ideas, like what one can do in agriculture. But according to you, which is the best option to go on with, because which need like minimum investment and from which we can start gaining the profit early. So what is that according to you?
See, I have repeatedly said that one has to be very innovative. One has to take all the factors in consideration. We can't say that this can be very profitable in this area. Okay, I am giving a very good example here. See, if we are going to have or set up the piggery unit, and suppose pigs are not means the pork is not being eaten in those areas, it will be failure, completely failure. But if you will set up the piggery farm in states like Northeast India, it will be highly successful unit. So it will depend upon these situations. You have to consider all the factors. What type of skill you have, how much you can upgrade your skill, what type of facility you are having, what type of market you have, how much means capitals you can invest. So all those factors you have to take into account, and then you can decide, because it will depend from site to site, it will vary.
Thank you, sir. Sir, another participant has asked that can I get some ideas about the rental segment which you have discussed?
Rental segment means?
The rental segment.
Rental segment means this custom hiring center.
Yes, sir. They want to know about that.
Okay. See, if you have some capital, or if you are forming some self-help group, you can have some money, then you can purchase some good implements which is being utilized in those areas, because every farmer cannot afford to purchase every implement. Like in our areas, we have the hilly terrain, and every farmer need the power tiller, but they are not able to purchase. So what they do, the farmers group, they purchase power tiller and they rent it for cultivating the field to every farmer, and they charge a very little amount per hour just to provide service, and for maintaining of the implement they are charging a small amount, and this facility can avail any farmer, right?
Okay, sir. Okay, thank you, sir. I hope they have got the clarity, because 2 to 3 participants have asked the same question.
Okay, no,
And one another question which
if something is not clear, I have mentioned my email also. If they need more information, they can put an email, I will reply them.
Okay, sir. Sir, one another participant has asked that they actually they have asked that I have an idea about it, like how I can contact to the farmer and give them a portion of rent, but how I can borrow their machinery if it is good.
No, that I am saying that the custom hiring center, if there are few people, they have to decide at their own, means how much we have to charge, that that is sufficient for their income also, and of course maintaining the implement also. So the person who are involved, they have to frame their regulations. It can vary from, again, person to person, that if they want more benefit, they can charge higher also, but it should be feasible to farmers also.
Okay, sir. Another participant has asked that how much profitable vermicomposting will be in Haryana. If you could answer that, then please satisfy their query.
No, see, profitable means that in my idea, in Haryana also, the people are selling at 20 rupees per kilogram.
Okay, sir. Sir, one has asked that in a state like Manipur, can how we can adopt integrated farming system for a long term, and because we have shortage of financial assistance, so how we can just go for it?
No, Manipur already, you see, there are so many integrated farming systems, models are available. Okay. And in any state, I want to say that this these areas are blessed in such a way that every kind of component can be included in the integrated farming system, right from crops. They have very good crops also, like black scented rice, very high value crop. Then ginger, then turmeric, okay. Then fruits, very good fruits are also there. Then piggery, poultry, duckery, goatry, rabbitry, and of course honeybee. Then in crops, mustard also is there. Every type of component, but again, it varies from situation to situation, from location specific concept. You have to identify that, yes, for this components, we have the market.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for this informative session and also answering all the questions of the participants. And I hope that they have gained the clarity about their questions. So thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you so much. And again, if someone needs some more information, you can note down my email, sanjayswamyonline@gmail.com. You can put your queries. I will respond certainly.
Yes, participants can ask their questions through email from Dr. Sanjay Swami, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you so much.
So now, after Sanjay Swami, sir, our next guest speaker is Dr. Pyumi Abhesundra from University of Sri Jayawardhanpura, Sri Lanka. So before inviting Madam to deliver her lecture, I would like to briefly introduce her to our participants. So Dr. Pyumi is the head of the Department of Food Science and Technology in the University of Sri Jayawardhanpura, Sri Lanka, and she has obtained her bachelor degree and specialized in food science and technology from the University of Sri Jayawardhanpura, Sri Lanka. And ma'am has done her master's and PhD in food microbiology from Mississippi State University of United States. And she is an expert in safety assurance in the food industry and actively involved in the food safety training of small and medium scale food manufacturers across Sri Lanka. Her research studies are focused on evaluating chemical and microbiological safety hazards in foods in Sri Lanka. So, ma'am, we are very honored to have you today among us, and I hope that from your talk, our participants will get much clarity about the topic. And with this word, I would like to hand over the stage to you. Over to you, ma'am.
I also join in welcoming Himani, Dr. Pyumi. Can you hear me?
Thank you, sir. Yes, Dr.
Okay,
I can
welcome,
hear you.
welcome, and
Yes,
thanks
thank
that
you.
you have spared your valuable time to just interact with the participants.
It's my pleasure. And thank you, Himani, for welcoming me. Let me share my presentation.
Yeah, ma'am, sure.
Can you all see?
Yes, ma'am, we can see it.
Right, good evening, everyone. As Himani has mentioned, I am Dr. Abhesundra, and it's my pleasure to talk to you in this fine meeting. So, as you can see, I'm going to talk about good manufacturing practices for food industry. The main objective of this small presentation is for you to provide basic understanding about the principles of good manufacturing practices for the future entrepreneurs in food industry. If I have understood correctly, I think this is a community who are specialized in agriculture and who has many potential for entering into the food industry. So I hope that the information that I will be sharing with you today will help at least some of you for their future events. So if I tell you about good manufacturing practices, these BFPs are a set of principles that help manufacturers to ensure the quality and safety of food products. So these principles were first formulated by the World Health Organization in 1975, and since then these principles have evolved, and now it is one of the fundamental components of any food safety systems. For example, if you may be aware of ISO 22000, which is a food safety system, and these good manufacturing practices are one of the main components of this ISO 22000. Okay? So before we move into good manufacturing practices, I want to give you a brief understanding about food safety hazards, because these food manufacturing practices are important for food manufacturers to produce food products safely for the consumers. So what are the things that make a food unsafe? Those are the food safety hazards. So food safety hazard is any substance or a material that can make the food unsafe for the consumer. All right. So these food safety hazards can be divided into three categories. They are physical food safety hazard, chemical food safety hazards, and microbiological food safety hazards. So what are physical food safety hazards? Physical food safety hazards are basically the physical things or materials such as piece of metals or small pebbles or dead insects or small pieces of components that can come from equipment or utensils that can contaminate food products. So there is some sort of a risk associated with these physical food safety hazards. Then what are chemical food safety hazards? Chemical food safety hazards are the ones such as cleaners, sanitizers, it can be lubricants, it can be toxic metals. For example, if you fail to completely rinse off any cleaner or sanitizer that you have applied with the purpose of cleaning and sanitizing a surface, if you fail to remove it or rinse it completely, that chemical can contaminate the food, creating a hazardous situation for the consumer. On the other hand, let's say that you put some sort of acidic food to a container which is made of brass or aluminium. So some metals can leak into the food product, creating a hazardous condition for the consumer. So moreover, sometimes some residues of veterinary drugs can end up in our food, such as like if we eat meat and if the chickens or the pigs or anything that they have given high dose of veterinary drugs, so those residues can end up in our food, right? Which is a chemical hazard. So and the third category is the microbiological hazards. So biological hazards are basically the microorganisms. So these microorganisms can grow on food, and there are some microorganisms which are not harmful. They will only make the food spoil, and there can be some other microorganisms which can create or make us ill. So those microorganisms which can make illnesses in human are considered as foodborne pathogens. So biological hazards are the foodborne pathogens. So now I think you have a good understanding about these three types of food safety hazards: physical hazards, chemical hazards, and biological hazards. So then what is the connection between good manufacturing and these food safety? Simply, what we do by following good manufacturing practices is prevent or avoid any possibilities of these hazards contaminating our food. So that is the main objective of following these good manufacturing practices. So why are good manufacturing practices important for the industry? That also you have to understand, because if we don't have a benefit from following these manufacturing practices, then we should not be following. But there are many benefits that an entrepreneur can gain by simply following good manufacturing practices. What are they? What are those benefits? First, good manufacturing practices ensures the safety of, and then it supports quality control in the food that you produce. It helps local and international regulations. And also it helps in traceability. What is traceability? Suppose that you start your business, a restaurant, and all of a sudden you start getting some consumer complaints regarding some coming upset or food poisoning. So you don't know how is the which product might have caused this issue. But if you have a good manufacturing practices in place, that process easier for you to find out the real reason. So you will be able to find the real reason behind the so that is another benefit. And then if you have a certificate which can be indicated in your to the consumer, that really improves the consumer's confidence on your food facility. So that can help you to attract more consumers to your business. And finally, good manufacturing practices also help you to reduce waste and costs. So these are some very key benefits that you can get through simply following good manufacturing practices. All right. So, as I mentioned before, these good manufacturing practices are a set of principles. So, these you might have heard about good manufacturing practices in pharmaceutical industry. There are good manufacturing practices in other industries as well. So if you look at the good manufacturing practices all over these industries, you will see that the principles are the same. But if you closely look at the practices, some specific practices, even though the principle remains same, these practices can slightly change. For example, the recommended good manufacturing practices for an animal slaughterhouse can be different from the recommended good manufacturing practices for a bakery or a restaurant. So depending on the food facility or the business that you are planning to start, you have to design your own specific practices obeying to those good manufacturing principles. Okay. So these here for your easy understanding, I have listed out some main key points that is described under good manufacturing practices. Okay. Once again, for easy understanding, let's say that you are planning to start your own restaurant. All right. So so you have to think about all these key aspects. What are those key aspects? You have to select a proper location. you have to design a building to produce, to cook the food and sell the food. And then you have to think about raw material storage, how you are going to design it. Not only raw material storage, designing how you are going to store your raw materials while the business is running. And then how you are going to prepare your food. What kind of equipment, utensils should be purchased and used for your business, and what are the personal hygiene practices that should the workers should follow. What kind of practices should be followed while serving food, how the cleaning and sanitation should be done in order to assure the safety of the food products that is prepared and sold in your premises. What kind of staff trainings are important and how record keeping is important. So I have listed these key aspects of good manufacturing practices in this slide, and just for ease of understanding, let's imagine you are going to start a restaurant. Okay, so in that way it will be easy for you to understand these things. Let's look at about the first you have to set a location, right? Under these manufacturing practices, it says that the facility should be located away from any kind of hello, can you all hear me?
Yes, ma'am, but we cannot
Okay.
see the PPT right now. Yeah, now it's visible.
Okay, something happens. Okay, I'm sorry for that. So, under good manufacturing practices, it is described that the facility should be located away from any contamination source. What are the contamination source? It should be located away from chemical plants. You know, there are some chemical plants which can produce aerosols, right? So those aerosols can contaminate the food that you prepare if you locate your facility near that chemical plant, right? So which can be a chemical hazard. And also your the facility should be located away from any sewage treatment plants, because you know sewage treatment facilities are they are full of contaminants. So those contaminants can come to your through air, through water, through skin. So therefore, avoid any food safety hazard, it is advised to locate these food processing facilities away from any sewage treatment plant. Then salvage yard, livestock housing. Livestock housing means any kind of, farms, animal farms. So if there is an animal farm near your food processing facility, your soil might get contaminated over the time. The water might get contaminated over the time. And that can create some hazardous conditions for your business. Okay. So therefore, you have to consider these factors when deciding a location. Okay. And then let's think about the building. So you have to think about the building, not only the interior of the building, but also the exterior of the building. So first of all, the building should be durable. So if you think about the interior should design in such a way it support easy cleaning. For example, the floor should be constructed using a material which is not water absorbing, which should permit regular cleaning. If your floor start getting chipped off over the time, that is not good. So the floor should be smooth and permit regular cleaning. The wall should be smooth and should permit regular cleaning. The wall should be constructed using material that does not absorb water or support mold growth. Because what happens if you have your walls using clay-like materials which can easily absorb water. Over the time, what's going to happen is that the wall will absorb food juice as well as water, and that can create more growth, support more growth. So when more growth happens, the spores can contaminate your food, the mold can contaminate food, and that create big issues in the long run. Okay, so therefore the building has to be constructed in such a way which is durable and support easy clean. Not only that, when you are designing the layout of the building, you have to keep in mind that what kind of activities will take place in your facility. For example, suppose that you are planning to prepare animal food, like chicken or mutton curry every day. That means you have to clean those meat products every day, right? So what happens is, if you are going to clean your if you're going to clean the leafy vegetables which you are also going to sell in raw form along with this meat, that is going to create some cross contamination and create some problem in the long run. So therefore it is advised to create separate areas for these different activities. Okay, so you have to pay close attention for the types of activities that can take place in your facility when designing the layout of your business. Raw material storage, so that is also very important. So when raw materials are stored, you have to always keep in mind that you have to store them in such a way that prevent contaminations. For example, let's say that you store them in open containers, so air can contaminate the food product, right? So you have to think about that. And then if you are handling pasteurized milk product, that means you always have to store pasteurized milk product in the refrigerated condition. So you have to think about the optimum storage conditions. Not only that, you also have to follow proper segregation. What does that mean? That means that suppose that you have milk, then you have fresh fruits and vegetables, and then you have fish and meat. So if you are going to store all these the fish and meats, fruits and vegetables, and dairy products in the same refrigerator, it is going to cause cross contamination at some point of time, and which can create serious problems. So therefore always proper segregation is advised. If you have only one cold room, then at least you have to separate them inside the cold room. In that way, which it reduces the chances of cross contamination. And then you also have to maintain good record about the raw materials that you purchase and then you use, because always it is under good manufacturing practices, it is advised that first in first out basis. That means whatever the raw materials you purchase first must be used first. So that is a principle. So these are the key things that these good manufacturing practices emphasize under raw material storage section. And then if you have leftover food, so normally in under good manufacturing practices, it is advised that you should discard any food left out at room temperature for more than 2 hours. So if you have food product which is been laying on the countertop for more than 2 hours, you should not save it for later use. So always you have to make sure you have to know that how long the food has been laying outside. And if you are going to keep store the leftover food in the refrigerator, you have to put them in shallow containers and then store in the refrigerated condition. And before using it, you have to make sure that the food is reheated at least up to 74 Celsius before eating or before serving. And then manufacturing practices also talk about food preparation. So once again, start thinking about activities that can take place in a kitchen of a restaurant. So there is raw material storage, then there is cleaning of raw materials, then there is cutting, juicing like activities, and then there is cooking, and then there is storage, and then serving. So what will happen if you do these two activities, the cleaning and storing of cooked food products in the same place? What happens if your cleaning station and the storing station is adjacent? If those two stations are adjacent, there is a chance of contamination from those raw materials to the cooked product, right? So therefore, you have to pay very close attention to the flow of your activity. You have to, it is advised that these process flow in one direction. That means in that way, you can minimize the chance of cross-contamination. And not only that, you have to encourage your employees to follow handling practices. For example, they have blouses while handling product, or clean hands properly and very frequently while handling food products, not eating or drinking while handling food products, not using mobile phone while handling food products. So those are good personal hygiene practices. So those are very well described under good manufacturing practices. And then good manufacturing practices also talks about equipment and utensils. So whatever the equipment that you use for food production should be to allow easy cleaning. They should be constructed of materials that are compatible with the food products that you are using. For example, if you are using any kind of an instrument which is aluminium, and if you are using that equipment to process some food that has, let's say, citric acid. So that citric acid may decaying of that metal, aluminium, which can create chemical safety hazard, right? So you have to pay attention to those things. And if you are using cutting boards, the cutting boards should not be made of wood, because wood can absorb water very well. And if you keep on using a wooden cutting board, that can create that the cutting board can create the environment which is very good for the growth of microorganisms, right? So therefore, you have to pay very close attention to the material that the utensils and equipments are made of, and the design, because sometimes there can be some equipments which are not designed in such a way that permit easy clean. So whatever the instrument that you are using, you have to check first whether it is easy to clean those equipments. If they are not easy to clean frequently, then you should not be using it, because otherwise those equipment can create contaminations in the long run. And personal hygiene. Personal hygiene also very well described under good manufacturing practices. For example, the cleanliness of the employees. So those when clean, wear shave, and they are in clean clothes, and then they are in personal protective and the permit to enter to the food processing facilities to the people should be limited. Not anyone should, like, not only the authorized people should be able to enter the food processing facility. So those those kind of things are well described under good manufacturing practices. And then about food serving. Food must be stored under correct temperature condition until they are served. If the food is meant to be served hot, those food should be held at 65 Celsius or warmer or warmer condition. If the food is meant to be served cold, the food should store at refrigerated condition. Perishable food should not be left out for more than 2 hours at room temperature when the temperature is about 32 Celsius. And then while the food is waiting until they are sold, the food should be covered. Whatever the utensils that we are using, such as the spoons, knives, utensils should be clean, and the people who are serving food should also be following good hygienic practices. So, and then cleaning and sanitation. Cleaning and sanitation is also very important and is very much emphasized under good manufacturing practices. A cleaning and sanitation plan is important in any food service preparation area. It ensures that all surfaces are clean on a regular basis. A cleaning and sanitation plan has two main components. What are those two components? A list of cleaning and sanitizing agents or supply with instructions on their safe use and storage, such as what is the concentration of cleaners or sanitizer, how in advance that the cleaners or sanitizers should be prepared, how they can be used, and a cleaning schedule. At what frequent the premises or the equipment or the utensils should be cleaned. Who is the responsible person for each of those activities? If you have equipments, how those equipments has to be cleaned. For example, if those equipment need dismantling during cleaning, how those dismantling has to be done. All those minute details are important, must be included in a cleaning and sanitation plan. And then these are the steps involved in a cleaning and sanitation plan. First is you have to remove waste materials. Then you have to scrape all loose debris and food particles from the surface. Then is the cleaning. So at this point, you can use a cleaner to acidic cleaner or basic cleaner you can use to clean the surface, and then you have to rinse off those cleaners from the surface, and then come the sanitation. Keep in mind, this cleaning and sanitation is not the same thing. Cleaning is done to remove any organic or non-organic matter from the surface, while the sanitation is done to remove or reduce the microbial load from a surface. And finally, staff training is also very important and described under good manufacturing practices. Good manufacturing practices training in the food industry is crucial to ensure that employees understand and follow the established protocols and standards for safe food handling, production, and hygiene. Finally, record keeping. So under this, good manufacturing practices describe batch records, such as the batch details of the raw materials that you are using and the products that you are selling, cleaning and sanitation details, suppliers and integrated records, process control. Process control means if you have different, let's say, different types of food products, how those food products are produced, at what temperature that the each food is cooked, and for how long. And then training reports, how frequent that you are training your employees. And then quality control reports, how frequent and what kind of quality control testings are done. So these kind of record keeping is also very important and emphasized under good manufacturing practices. And in summary, I can say good manufacturing practices are the backbone of quality and safety in the production of foods. By implementing and adhering to good manufacturing practices, companies guarantee consistent quality, reduce risk of contamination, and maintain compliance with stringent regulatory requirements. So I think that's it for my presentation. And if you have any question, I'm happy to answer for any of them. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for this wonderful presentation. And yeah, we have some questions from the participants. So first question which I would like to ask is, what is the importance of ISO certification in food manufacturing industry?
Yes, so ISO 22000 is there are different types of ISO certification. So ISO 22000 is a food safety management system. It ensures it provides some kind of a certification for the consumers that that particular food has been manufactured under a regulated environment. So that is the importance of ISO 22000. And there are other ISO certification like ISO 9000, which talks about the quality. ISO 22000 talks about the food safety. I hope I am answered enough for that question.
Yes, ma'am. Other question which I have got from the participants is, what does FPO mark mean in the food industry?
FPO
mark. Like if there is some kind of mark on the food products, is there anything like this, like how we can identify that this food has gone through some quality assurance?
Yeah, so FPO mark is it a so there are GMP mark. If you see GMP mark in any kind of a food packaging, that means the facility that the food has been manufactured has that or has fulfilled all the requirement that is being required by the GMP certification. Okay, so FPO might be a certificate, something like that. I'm sorry. In Sri Lanka, that is not. I'm not familiar with that term. But GMP, it is a universal certification.
Ma'am,
Yes.
Himani,
Yes, sir.
FPO, this is a kind of organization of farmers. Basically, this is a farmers produce organization.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah,
So that,
sir. Yeah, that is
sir,
FPO.
yes, it is in popular in India only, not in South
it's
Africa. That's why
in India.
Dr. Pimi is not
Yeah.
able to answer this. FPO means
Exactly.
Farmer Produce Organization, and our government is promoting these FPOs, particularly in rural areas which are producing traditional foods.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think in Sri Lanka we have
Yes.
SLS certificate. That means
Yeah.
Sri Lankan standard. So
Yeah.
if a product is certified with SLS certificate, that means the product has been manufactured in an environment which fulfill all the requirement that is being demanded by the standard. So that is some kind of a certification that given for the consumer. So if a consumer sees SLS certificate on a food product, then they know that this is a food product that can be trusted. So that is the basic idea of a certificate.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, thank you so much, ma'am, for answering the questions of the participants. And I can see the participants have enjoyed your presentation, and they are asking for the PPT because they have enjoyed the session very much. So thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for the wonderful session.
Okay, thank you, Himani, and thank you, Professor Sanjay, for giving me this opportunity. I really enjoyed talking to you everyone, and I will share my presentation with Professor Sanjay. I think you can share with the participants.
Yes, sure.
Yes, ma'am.
And thank you, Dr. Pumi, for and your nice presentation and sparing your valuable time. I hope that after our South Korea meeting, it is nice to see you on this platform. Thank you so much.
Yes, same here, Professor Sanjay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you, ma'am. Have a great evening.
you too, Himani.
So participants, our next guest speaker is Dr. Baljit Singh Saharan, sir. So sir has already joined us, and before sir will deliver his talk, I will just briefly introduce sir to our audience. So sir is currently working as principal scientist or professor cum office in charge in the Center of Biofertilizer Production and Technology, Department of Microbiology, CCS, HAU, Hisar. And sir has contributed significantly in the field of natural farming and agriculture microbiology. Sir is an expert of the on the sustainability of agriculture based on agroecology, and sir has conducted extensive research on various bioinputs being used in natural farming practices, and has also been extensively working on the microbial diversity of dung from different animals. Sir is the recipient of prestigious DAAD Indo-German Award and Commonwealth Fellowship 2008, Raman Fellowship, which is Indo-US Fellowship for postdoctoral studies in Germany, England, and United States of America. And recently, during 2021, sir was awarded with prestigious Louis Pasteur Award for his contribution in the field of microbiology and sustainable agriculture. So sir has guided 21 PhD and 50 MSc students so far, and sir has published more than 100 research papers, 3 books, and other manuals on natural farming practices. So currently, sir is also handling the RKVY project on evaluation of zero-budget natural farming model under different cropping systems in Haryana for implementing natural farming in the state. So Dr. Saharan has been working extensively with the state team of natural farming of Haryana and Gujarat for developing different working protocols to create the farmer official interaction and developing literature for short-term training program. Dr. Saharan has designed a detailed program on natural farming in irrigated agroecosystem. Sir was one of the members of the committee which is constituted by ICR on natural farming for the validation of results of natural farming, or Subhas Palekar natural farming, or zero budget natural farming, what we call it, and conventional farming. So sir is a member of the committee which is constituted by ICAR for developing course curriculum for undergraduate and postgraduate level. As an international scientist or expert, sir has supported capacity building in Germany, United Kingdom, and United States of America and Switzerland. He has developed and sustained innovative models on paddy straw decomposition, biofertilizer uses for rural farmer collective based on values of economics and rural development. As an expert scientist, he has mentored the design of the sustainable food system platform for natural farming and currently being rolled out in the country. So, sir, your achievements are endless, and we are not able to enlist all of them in such a short time. So, I hope that I have introduced you properly, and thank you for joining us, sir, and kindly enlighten our audience with your knowledgeable words. Thank you, sir, and over to you. Sir, you are on mute. Kindly unmute, sir.
It's okay?
Yeah, sir, it's perfect.
Okay. Thank you, Mani, for using kind words for me and very big introduction. Simply, we are normally scientists and we are working in universities. So that is our primary duty. And good evening to Dr. Mehta, Dr. Krishnendra, Himani, Dr. Sanjay, and earlier speaker, Dr. Pumi, and all the audience and all the participants in this workshop. So basically, the purpose of this workshop is to go for entrepreneurs and some ideas that everyone can understand. And during this 30 minutes presentation, I will try to give some ideas so that this is a kind of general talk and this is not very specific talk. Basically, the topic which I am going to discuss here is nurturing the earth, a deep dive into natural farming practices. So why these days there is nature of natural farming, there is need of natural farming, and what exactly we are doing and what we are getting from our farmers. Basically, due to this chemical farming, there are a lot of problems. Earlier, there was green revolution, and our scientists they did a lot of hard work. Our students, farmers, everyone, every citizen of India, and we got a lot of cereals, pulses, everything, the agricultural produce. But there are some problems which we are facing due to this overdose of pesticides, due to overdose of chemicals, and these problems we have to address. Basically, the alternative was organic farming, but organic farming, this is a kind of protocol, and there are some things which we are also facing some problems. Some farmers, they are also facing the problem. The scientists, they are doing a lot of research in that case also. But these days, there is one more protocol, that is agroecology or natural farming. So basically, natural farming, how the scientists and farmers and the students, what exactly they are doing, what kind of protocols are there. So the main thing is to understand the ideas. So what are kind of ideas, they are very important behind the natural farming. In this fig, you will see the main thing is the crop, and then few structures you are able to see. Basically, these are the microorganisms and the combination of these crops, microorganisms, and soil. So as a whole, if we see the system, if we see the ecosystem, then we will be able to understand what kind of things they can be used and what kind of things we have to avoid. In nature, everything is there. The farmer, he is the master of the agriculture. And in nature, both type of things, that is the plant protection and plant nutrition, they are very important in agriculture point of view. So how the inputs, they can be prepared on farm, and what kind of inputs they are important for plant nutrition, and what kind of bioformulations they are important with regard to plant nutrition. That is very important. That is very, very important aspect. If we see, we all know there are almost 16, 17 elements which are very important with regard to life, with regard to the structure of the cell. And directly we can say that is the life. If there is any growth in plants, animals, microorganisms, any kind of organism or living being, there are 16 elements which are required. So hydrogen is there, carbon is there, oxygen is there, nitrogen is there, potassium is there. So these elements, they are very important. So from where we can get hydrogen, from where the plants, they get hydrogen. Hydrogen, this is a very important element, and this is the part of many things. Basically, if we talk of water, we can get hydrogen from water also, H2O. That is the basic formula of water. And there are so many so many products from where we can get hydrogen. Another thing is carbon. Carbon is required because carbon is very important element. It can share for electrons. It can donate for electrons. It can take electrons. So there is a separate branch of carbon chemistry that is known as organic chemistry. And there are so many molecules which can be used as the carbon source. Dead and decaying organic matters, they are containing carbon. In nature also, there is carbon dioxide, 0.034% volume by volume, that can be utilized by plants by the process of photosynthesis. So carbon is also not a problem. Then oxygen in atmosphere, we have 19.8% volume by volume. So oxygen can be utilized from environment. In our respiration processes, we are using oxygen. We are releasing carbon dioxide. So that was not a problem. Then nitrogen in environment, a lot of nitrogen is there, 78.2% volume by volume. But that nitrogen can't be used by plants. That nitrogen can't be used by animals. We are going for respiration. We are taking the air inside, and air is going inside and coming outside. Nitrogen is going inside and coming outside because this is an inert molecule. And the plants, they can't utilize the nitrogen from the atmosphere. And 78.2% means if we are having 100 parts of air, so almost 78% of pure air, that is nitrogen. But that nitrogen is inert. It means it can't be utilized by plants or animals. If we see the molecule of nitrogen, it is N2. never in singular form, N. It's a N triple bond N, and that is very strong bond, and that can't be utilized by plants. So what is the alternative? Alternative, we are thinking that scientists, they are looking for different sources of nitrogen like urea. If we are synthesizing urea synthesis, that is Haber-Bosch process, and that process requires very high temperature, very high pressure, and the catalyst like nickel, they ultimately they are causing the pollution, air pollution, and the process is very costly. And in case of bacteria, there is a process of biological nitrogen fixation. They are having the enzyme nitrogenase, which can fix the nitrogen. And that is the unique property of bacteria. They can convert this inert nitrogen into various available form of nitrogen, like nitrate is there, nitrite is there, ammonia is there, and those molecules, they can be used by plants. If in simple language we say, if we are having wheat, we are having seeds of wheat, and we are having wheat flour, but we can't utilize that wheat directly. We have to go for this powdering or flour of this wheat, and then we are converting these into various products like chapatis, rotis, and bread, and so many products we can utilize, but we are not able to consume directly those seeds of wheat. Likewise, nitrogen directly can't be utilized, but that can be converted into different various processes, and that can be used. So our microorganisms, they are having this ability, and they convert this inert nitrogen into nitrate and nitrite. And the important thing is they are doing the process of biological nitrogen fixation at room temperature. So they are the tiny laborers, and they are working a lot of, they are doing a lot of work for our farmers. Likewise, other elements also, potassium. There is no limitation of potassium. The earth is the store of these elements, but if there is proper biogeochemical cycling process, these nutrients, they come in contact with plants, and the plants, they can absorb. Calcium is there, magnesium is there, other elements, some of the elements like NPK, they are required in more quantity, that's why they are major elements, and other elements, they are required in very minute quantity, and but they are very important. They are the trace elements or minor elements, and they are important with regard to being the cofactors of enzymes, and in signaling molecules, they are very important. So if we see in brief, so these elements, they are very important, and from where we can get, like phosphorus, there is no limitation of phosphorus on earth. Everything containing phosphorus, like rocks, hills, and stones, concrete, etc., they are having phosphorus, but that phosphorus is also inorganic. It means the plant, they can utilize that phosphorus, and the plant, they are showing the deficiency of the phosphorus. But if it get converted into phosphates or some organic molecules, so that can be utilized by plants. The important thing is how these elements, they are involved in the process, in biogeochemical processing, and how they are coming from non-living to living, and ultimately where they are utilized. In case of microbiology, I will not discuss more, because I'm discussing general aspects. So this phycology, this is the study of microorganisms which are algae. Algae, basically, this is unicellular and very simple, and maybe unicellular. And the thing is, it is autotrophic in nature. Mycology, this is the study of fungi, another molecule, another kind of a microorganism, but that is heterotrophic, because they are not able to synthesize their food. Bacteriology, that is the study of bacteria, simple cells, unicellular and ancient kind of cells, that is prokaryotic. Protozoology, that is the study of protozoans. They are also eukaryotic, and they are animal-like. Virology, this is the study of viruses. And helminthology, this is the helminths. Small cyst of helminths are there. And any microorganism, any organism which is having the size of 0.1 millimeter or less, that is the microorganisms. Another important thing is the presence. The microorganisms, they are present everywhere except fire. In fire, they are not able to survive, because the majority of the cell, if you see, that is the water, and the boiling point of water is 100. Another thing is proteins, biomolecules. The cell is containing proteins, and at high temperature, they get denatured. It means in fire, the temperature is too high, and the vitality or life is lost at very high temperature. Another thing is observations. The microorganisms, they can't be seen by unaided or naked eye. That is very important. If in farmer, if we see in case of agriculture, the farmer is able to see almost all things like how many trees are there in his field, how many sparrows are there, how many animals are there, but he is not able to see how many microorganisms they are present in the soil. And these microorganisms, they are very, very important. That's why I am going to discuss the activity of these microorganisms. You will see in case of natural farming, this is a protocol. So what we are using in plant nutrition, we are for plant nutrition, we are using Jivamrit, then Jivamrit. Jivamrit, that is made up of, suppose we take 200 liters of water in a drum. 200-liter water, it contains 10 kg of cow dung, it contains 7 to 8 liters of urine, cow urine, and 2 kg of jaggery or good, and 2 kg of besan, or that is pulse flour, and almost 100 to 500 grams of soil, which is not containing any kind of residue. That is acting as an inoculum of microorganisms. And in 4 or 5 days, we are rotating it, and ultimately we are getting the solution, which is known as Jivamrit. Likewise, Jivamrit. So these bioformulations, the farmer can prepare on farm. So on his farm, so basic thing or basic idea of natural farming, that is we have to reduce the income cost. That is important. That's why we are discussing natural farming. Another thing is the plant protection aspect, where different diseases they have to control by different means. Nature contains everything. For example, capsaicin is there in chilies, allicin we can see in onion, and this garlic, and azadirachtin in case of neem. So these compounds, they are having antimicrobial activities. So these compounds, they can be utilized by farmers, and he's making bioformulations like Dasparniark, Nemastra, Brahmastra. So many bioformulations are there, and that is the list that he is following these bioformulations, and input cost is reduced. Almost earlier the name of zero budget natural farming, and now it has been converted into natural farming, or Subhash Palékar natural farming. Basically, if we see the microorganisms, how they are contributing towards in controlling disease, that is plant protection, and giving nutrition to the plants, that is plant nutrition. The microorganisms, they are present, as I have told you earlier, that they are present everywhere. So rhizobacteria, the bacteria, they are present nearby roots, the zone that is known as rhizosphere. So rhizosphere containing microorganisms, we studied rhizobacteria. Phylobacteria, any type of bacteria which is present on the surface of leaves, that is the phylobacteria. Endophytes, these are also the bacteria or microorganisms, but they make temporary house, temporary structures with the plant structures, and they are known as endophytes. Free living, some of the microorganisms, they are present in the soil, whether there is crop or whether there is no crop, even then they are present and they are doing their job. They are free living. Example is azotobacter. Symbiotic, there are microorganisms which are present in the roots, and they make permanent structures, permanent home. Microorganism come in contact with the plant, and the plant is giving shelter. The organism is making its home, that is known as nodule, and microorganism doing its job. It's giving nitrogen, doing biological nitrogen fixation, giving nitrogen to the plant, and plant is giving shelter to the bacteria. So they are in harmony, and that process is symbiosis. And example is rhizobacteria, that is this rhizobium. Rhizobium, variety rhizobium. Associative type, other type of microorganisms, they are present in the field, in the soil, but their number is very less. But if there is a very good crop in our field, their canopy is there, moisture is there. For example, in case of sugar canes, wheats, when greenery is there, canopy is there, we can see a lot of microorganisms. They are very important. They are doing their job. They are doing biological nitrogen fixation, and these microorganisms, example is azospiral. Mycorrhiza, basically this is the microorganism which is this is a fungi, and making associations or with the roots of higher plants. So such type of combination of roots of higher plants, earlier it originated, and the fungi, that is very important with regard to the plant. It provides a lot of nutrition, and it helps plants in alleviating various type of stresses. So if we see, it starts with the when we are going for sowing. The farmer sees the climatic conditions are okay, the soil conditioning is okay, the level of water in soil is okay, then he is going for sowing. As soon as sowing is there, the seeds, it checks its environment, whether in the soil there is salinity, what is the level of the moisture, what is the level of toxicity, what is the level of microorganisms, everything. If it is favorable, then it starts germinating. As soon as it starts germinating, it is releasing root exudates, and these root exudates, they are having the food and the molecules which can attract useful bacteria. They are attracted by plant roots, that microorganism which is beneficial for the plant. It comes to near the root, and it gets shelter, it gets food, and it start multiplying. So different type of roots, they are having different type of communities. That is the beauty of the nature. So if we are going for intercropping, or we are going for mixed cropping, or we are going for crop rotation, we can see a lot of microorganisms can be seen in the soil. The process starts with the germination of the plant, and different climatic conditions, different seasons, and the age of the plant, they are affecting the nature of the microflora. And that microflora is very important. If microorganisms are there, the plant is not feeling lonely, and any kind of stress it can tolerate. If microorganisms are not there, it means what kind of condition is there. If we are using a lot of synthetic chemicals, we are using a lot of pesticides, insecticides, we are killing these teeny creatures, we are killing these microorganisms, and the number of microorganisms is less. If we are using more urea, we are using chemical fertilizers. So how they are affecting the nature? Basically, these microorganisms which are useful for plants, their requirement are very less. If we are adding more and more urea, then the biological nitrogen fixation is switched off. They are not doing more job. They are not going for multiplication, and ultimately their number is decreasing. They are getting lazy, and their number is less. But if the level of nitrogen is okay, and if there is no excess of nitrogen or excess of urea, then you will see there is no toxicity and no toxic effect, and the microorganisms number is maintained. Likewise, in case of phosphate solubilization, different properties which we are going to address, which we are going to deal, or which we are going to explain in coming slides. The process of oxidation, binding, transformation, volatilization, immobilization, all these you will see the microorganisms along with the plants, plant microbial and soil interaction. That is very, very important. If we see what kind of role they can be seen, or what kind of role or what kind of help they are contributing to the plants, the microorganisms, they are going to biological nitrogen fixation. As I have discussed, this is the conversion of nitrogen into nitrate, nitrite, ammonium, etc., so that that can be utilized by plants. Phosphate solubilization, that is the process where the microorganisms, they are converting inorganic phosphorus into phosphate. Phytohormone production, that is very important. We start laughing, we start weeping, or sometimes we are angry, sometimes we are happy. So who is controlling us? These hormones, they are controlling us. And in case of agriculture, the hormone, they decide at what time the flowering will be there, at what time, what kind of canopy will be there, what will be the size of the roots, what will be the size of the plant, and what will be the period for maturing, and at which time we can go for harvesting of the crops. That is very important. That is influenced by hormones. And in case of plant, phyto means plant. Phytohormones, they are very important. Indolestic acid, gibberellins, cytokinins. There are so many hormones. These hormones, they are the part of the intermediary metabolism of the plants. If in the soil there is any kind of deficiency, that deficiency affect directly synthesis of these plant hormones. And these due to the deficiency of plant hormones, the plant is facing a lot of problems. Early maturity is there, early flowering is there. In that case, the microorganism, they are present only if they are present in the rhizosphere, and if good community of microbes is there, so they are coming and they are going for synthesis of the hormones. They get the signal from plants, and these microorganisms, they start synthesis of hormones. They are supplying hormone to the plant, and plant is not facing the stress. That may be any kind of stress, like maybe due to drought, that is the water, maybe due to salt, or maybe due to a high intensity of the sunlight, etc. So that kind of biotic or abiotic stress, that BIOTECH is maybe from any living agent is attacking. So these stresses, they can be alleviated, they can be minimized, they can be tolerated by plants if the microorganisms are present. It means in healthy conditions. We are maintaining healthy conditions, and by the process of this natural farming, because we are not using any chemicals, we are not using insecticide, pesticides, so the number of microorganisms is appropriate, and the plant get health due to the various activities of the plant. Micronutrient mobilization, that is also very important. There are nutrients in the soil, but sometimes there is no mobilization. Plants, they are not able to take. Recalcitrant compounds are there. They are the compounds, complex compound. They can't be utilized by plants. But if microorganisms are there, the process of succession takes place. Complex compounds, they are break down by these microorganisms. Microorganisms, they cause a breakdown of complex compound into simpler compounds, and various type of nutrients the plant can get. Disease management. Nature loves symmetry. In nature, there is no excess. If anything is dominating, that can be controlled by nature. If there are appropriate conditions, because all type of factors like pH, temperature, humidity, they affect the microorganisms. And basic thing is food. And in case of microorganisms, we are using the word substrate. If there is any kind of community which is dominating, so another kind of community is in less number, the dominating community will face the problem of food. So because of the lacking of this food or shortage of food, ultimately that starts decreasing. The number of the dominating community start decreasing, and another community comes. So one by one, depending on the season, depending on the crop, depending on the humidity, different type of microorganisms, they are coming and they are controlling each other. So basically there is a kind of disease management. Biocontrol, this is a process where one type of organism is controlling another. Suppose we are killing insects or we are killing rats. So that is a kind of control. That is one biological or one organism is controlling another organism. So in this case also, suppose bacteria is controlling fungi or fungi is controlling bacteria, or some another microorganism is controlling different type of microorganisms. So basically this is the process, and we use this for control of disease by useful microorganisms. So microorganisms like trichoderma, microorganisms like bacillus, they control the disease causing or phytopathogens. That is the process of biocontrol, and that is utilized properly in case of natural farming, because we are giving the optimum conditions to these microorganisms, and these microorganisms, they are multiplying and they are controlling the other organisms which may cause disease. The disease causing microorganisms, their requirement is very, very high, and the useful microorganisms requirement is very low. For example, biological nitrogen fixers, these bacteria, they do not need nitrogen. They will take nitrogen from the atmosphere. But phytopathogens, they are not able to go for biological nitrogen fixation. They need nitrogen. So if there is competition between healthy bacteria or useful bacteria and phytopathogen or pathogenic bacteria, so the useful bacteria, there are chances that he will survive. Then bacteriocins, these are the small molecules which can be used by farmers in various formulations. For example, khatti lassi or curd with very low pH, and that is containing these peptides. And these peptides, they control other type of microorganisms. If we see there is conversion of milk into curd by the bacteria, lactic acid bacteria, that is known as Lactobacillus acidophilus. But sometimes different type of strains, Lactobacillus lactis, Lactobacillus bulgaricus, it comes. So Lactobacillus acidophilus is producing these bacteriocins, and it is controlling Lactobacillus casei or some closely related strains. So there is no different a kind of dominance in the vicinity or in the ecosystem. Biosurfactants, these are surface active compounds. They reduce the surface tension of water. For example, if we use the water and we are having small drops, so small drops, they are round because of the surface tension. And if we add some detergent in the water, you will see there is no formation of small drops. And if we are going for washing of the clothes, so dirt will be removed easily if we are using detergents. So basically, these detergent-like molecules are surfactants, and if they are being synthesized or taken from the microorganisms or biological or organisms, biological origin, so they are known as biosurfactants. They are very important. If we see what is the scenario in the soil, there is air, there is moisture, and the moisture, this is in the form of small droplets. and small droplets, they are containing nutrition, but because of surface tension, they are round, they are not in contact with the root, or they are not in contact with the particles. So in that case, if microorganisms are there, these microorganisms, they are producing biosurfactants, and biosurfactant, as soon as it comes in contact with the droplets, and the droplet spreads, and the nutrient, it comes in contact with the root, and or in contact with the soil, so that can be utilized by the plants. Antibiotic, these are the substances produced by one type of organism, and they kill another type of organism. For example, doctor is giving us the antibiotics, and the dose of antibiotic depends on the age and the gravity of the disease. So antibiotics, like substances or antibiotics, they are produced by microorganisms. So in on the universe, you will see, on the earth, you will see everything which is damaged, or which is deteriorated, or quality is decreasing, that is because of microorganism. And almost each and everything which is being synthesized, you see curd, you see wine, you see fruit, juice, anything, cake, bread, biscuits, everything, there is role of microorganisms. So in making also, and in spoilage also, the microorganisms, they are very, very important. In soil also, likewise, they are very important. ACC deaminase, this is a kind of enzyme, and it is helpful for plants in stopping the early maturity. Basically, early maturity because of the formation of ethylene. And if ACC deaminase producer is there, so that will produce this enzyme, and this enzyme converts the compound into alpha ketobutyrate. So there is no synthesis of ethylene. If there is no synthesis of ethylene, early maturity will not be there. And you see, in case of February, the temperature is increasing, terminal heat is there, and the yield of wheat is affected. There are so many factors. But if in our field we are having these microorganisms and good rhizosphere, even small changes are there, terminal heat is there, the effect is minimized because of these microorganisms. Likewise, phylospheric bacteria, if we take a leaf and we isolate microorganisms, these microorganisms are having a lot of properties, and these properties are very important. You see, hydrocarbon utilization is there, so it will help in the nutrition of the plant. Enzyme production is there, a lot of enzymes which help the plant in stopping disease or controlling disease, and also in biological nitrogen fixation. Antagonistic activities there, they prevent colonization of pathogenic bacteria. If a useful bacteria is there, the pathogenic bacteria is not able to survive on the leaf. Biological nitrogen process, phosphate solubilization process, biocontrol agent, antibacterial activity, stress response, food safety, they are very important. Food safety, these microorganisms, useful microorganisms, they do not have any side effect. If we are consuming them, then no problem. And phytohormone production is there. So all in all, you will see the microorganisms sitting on the leaf. It is having a lot of properties, and that is playing role in natural farming. So if we compare the variations in maybe in the atmosphere or climatic conditions, or because of this intensity of light, so there are variations. You catch any color, you take this yellow color, red color, blue color. In the initial, it's less, then more, then again less, more, and ultimately it's more. And likewise, brown color, it's very high in initial, but ultimately less. What it indicates? It indicates a different type of microorganisms which are present at a particular time. That is very, very important. What kind of microorganism is present? If biological nitrogen fixers are there, they will go for biological nitrogen fixation. The nitrogen content will be very high. And these fluctuations, they are controlled by weather conditions, they are controlled by root exudates, they are controlled by moisture, they are controlled by pH, temperature, so many factors. So if there is any kind of activity in the field, how it is going to affect the community of microorganisms in the field. So others are the research studies. If any farmer is following natural farming, so you can see what kind of effect is there. We start with the counting of bacteria. If we are writing 10 raised to power 7, means we are talking about 1 crore bacteria. If we are writing 10 raised to 5, means we are talking about 1 lakh bacteria. So if we are using chemicals, pesticides, the number is decreasing 100 times. And this is about CFU per gram of soil. So 100 times bacteria, they are reducing. So if we talk of 1 gram soil, so maybe 1 crore bacteria. If we are talking 1 kg of soil, we are talking about 1,000 crore of bacteria. Likewise, if we talk of the soil which is present in hectare, 2.26 into 10 raised to power 6, So that kg of soil, how much bacteria that is containing, and this labor can be utilized. But if we are using a lot of chemicals, fertilizers, and a lot of pesticides, insecticides, we are killing these tiny or the microorganisms or labor. Likewise, we study this the count of bacteria in dung of cow, dung of buffalo, and dung of other animals, and that is very. And so we can say if we are preparing Jivamrit, so that's why we are using the dung of cow. Likewise, why we are going for Jivamrit. So what are its important components and what is the count of microorganisms that we see, and different type of trace elements like copper, iron, manganese, zinc, how their effect is, how their level is affected in soil using these microorganisms, and how the organic carbon. Organic carbon is very good indicator. If organic carbon of soil is okay, so then the possibility of bumper yield is there. So organic carbon is decreasing, is being decreased, almost 0.5 or less organic carbon is there, and the pH is increasing, and the EC is also being affected. But if we are going for natural farming or we are cultivating these microorganisms, so these microorganisms, they directly affect the conditioning of the soil. And like biomass carbon, that is also very good indicator, and different type of doses we see the effect and in different ages. And dehydrogenase activity, this is also very good indicator of microorganisms. Dehydrogenase activity is more, it means more number of microorganisms. The possibility is that these microorganisms, they are exhibiting a lot of properties, more the DHA, so more the biological activities. They increase the fertility, different type of enzymes. They are also very good indicators. Ultimately, we see these properties in lab, in microbiology terms, and these siderophore production, we see siderophore, basically this is a kind of compound which is going for chelating of nutrients. And if there is microorganism which is synthesizing siderophore, so the nutrients nearby, they will be chelated, and the phytopathogens, they are not able to utilize those nutrients. That's why their number is being controlled. Likewise, biological nitrogen fixation, antifungal activities, we test a lot of fungi which are causing diseases, and these microorganisms, they are present in natural farming fields and they are controlling the diseases, different type of fungi. Then we go for metabolite detection by GC or HPLC or TLC, and what kind of biomolecules they are present, what kind of biomolecules they are being synthesized by these microorganisms, and how they are important. So because of shortage of time, I am sorry, we can't explain in detail. If there is any kind of question, then I will address that question. So thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for briefing the participants about this very important topic. And yeah, we have some questions from the participants. So I'm just going to ask the question. So first question is, sir, like organic certification in organic farming, do we need some kind of certification in natural farming as well?
Yeah, that's very good question. The basic thing is these are two different type of processes. One thing is natural farming, another is organic farming. In natural farming, the cost of input is reduced. In organic farming, the cost is more. For example, if we are taking Nemaster or the medicine or the insecticide from any company, so a lot of input cost is there, maybe 2,000 rupees, 5,000 rupees, 10,000 rupees per acre. But in case of natural farming, the on farm, the things are being prepared. The thing is, we have to go for certification. If certification is there, then we can say this is the produce of organic farming or natural farming. If this is the produce of natural farming, there will be no residue, there will be no heavy metal, and the rate will be very high. If a routine rate is 2,000 rupees, then the farmer can get up to 5,000 rupees also. So likewise, 2 to 5 or 10 times more cost is there. If there is proper certification, if there is no certification, then we are not able to identify, we can't differentiate between this is the organic produce or this is the chemical produce. So certification is very, very important. Another question.
Another question is also related to the previous one. Like somebody has asked that, is there any standardized legislation for natural farming?
Yeah. Everything is standardized. This is a standard protocol. For example, how to prepare Jivamrit, how to prepare Ganjivamrit, Dasparniyar, Nimastra, Brahmastra, and this Dasparniyar, and all formulations for plant nutrition and all formulations for plant protection or in controlling of disease. So the government of India and government of Haryana, they are following these procedures, particular procedures, and in different states there are bioformulation centers also. In different states there are training centers also. So if someone is interested, he or she can go into the training center. For example, in Haryana, if we talk of Kurukshetra Gurukul Natural Farming Training Center is there in Kurukshetra Gurukul, and Hameti Jind, they can get the training, and Mangyana Sirsa nearby Dabawali, they can get the training. So if they are following proper protocols, so the produce that will be certified and they will get more amount of money.
Thank you, sir. And another question somebody has asked that, like in organic farming, we need some transition period when we switch from chemical to organic farming. So do we need any kind of transition period when we switch from chemical to natural farming also?
No. Anybody can start from natural farming from today onwards. Actually, there are strategies like incorporation of residues is there, crop rotation is there, intercropping is there, mixed cropping is there, and the dosage of Jivamrit and Jivamrit, they vary. So it depends since how long he's doing natural farming, or he's doing organic farming, or conventional farming, that is chemical farming. So they can directly go for transition of this chemical farming into natural farming. The main thing is the farmer should start from small area. If he is doing agriculture on 10 acres, he or she start with half or 1 acre only. And if it is getting good yield, he is getting confidence, and after good training, he can increase the area. So he or she will start from small area like 1 acre or 2 acres.
Okay, sir. Sir, another question, like where we can see the future of nanotechnology in agripreneurship, because there is limitation because it is limited to justify its cost effectiveness. So how we can see this nanotechnology in agripreneurship?
Yeah, that's very important, because this is a scientific era, and we are going for smart technologies. All type of technologies, they are involved in precision agriculture, controlled agriculture, protected agriculture. Nanoparticles, they are very small particles, as the name indicates, 10 raised to power minus 9 or less than that. The size is very small. So if we talk of nano urea or nano fertilizers, a small amount will be used. And if we talk of nanoparticles, if they are in the vicinity of a plant root, or they are in the vicinity of microorganisms, so availability of nutrients is also increased, because the ratio, surface area ratio, is very important. And if we talk of topology of nanoparticles, if we are getting these nanoparticles from natural produce, that is very, very important. So the thing is to do more research on natural nanoparticles and utilize those nanoparticles in our agriculture or entrepreneurship. That is very important. This is very good or very potential area for our young ones.
Yes, sir. So last question which we have got is somebody has asked that you have mentioned in your lecture that more the pH and more will be the biological activity. So what if the pH is highly sodic, like it's around 8, 9 or more than that, then what will be its impact on the biological activity?
Yeah. The pH is very important factor. There are some these abiotic factors like pH, temperature, or nutrient. The main thing is if the pH is 7, then more number of bacteria they are available. Different communities of bacteria they are present. If pH is increasing, the number of fungi and bacteria is decreasing, and actinomyces, another kind of microorganism, that is increasing. So we are facing the problem of increasing pH. We are using chemical fertilizers, we are using pesticides. The pH of the soil is increasing. These days, if we see the average pH in our area, this is almost 8. And at pH 8, most of the fungi, they are not able to survive. At pH, most of the bacteria, they are not going to multiply. Only few bacteria, they can multiply. So we have to reduce the pH. So we can reduce the pH by these natural farming practices like incorporation of paddy straw, by using Jivamrit, by using Jivamrit, by using various strategies like intercropping, mixed cropping, crop rotation, by Vapsa creation. There are so many practices, agronomical practices, which can be followed in natural farming, and there is need to decrease the pH, because in most of the soils where pH is very high, the yield is decreasing. But maybe there are some soils where the pH is low. So we need to increase, or we need to neutralize that pH. The pH is very important.
Thank you, sir. And we are done with the question. And in case if we get any other question, we will send them to you and answer the participants about the question, as we know that we have limited time for the session. So we will communicate if you get any other questions from the participant, because participants have liked your presentation and they were sending the questions. So if we get any other question, we will send them to you.
Please, it will be my pleasure. Thank you so much. Thank you
Thank you,
all.
sir. Thank you so much for this wonderful session.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
So participants, for the today's session, our last guest is Dr. Virendra Kumar. So before inviting sir to deliver his talk, I would like to briefly introduce sir to our audience. So Dr. Virendra Kumar is a distinguished chief scientist and nodal head of the Seed Quality Lab on Medicinal and Aromatic Plants at Plant Breeding and Genetic Resource Conservation Division of CSIR, Central Institute of Medicinal and Aromatic Plants, Lucknow, Uttar Pradesh. So, his area of specialization lies in crop improvement through plant breeding approaches and the development of seed quality standards in medicinal and aromatic plants. Additionally, sir holds the position of professor in the Academy of Scientific and Innovative Research under CSIR, New Delhi. So Dr. Kumar's academic journey is marked by notable achievements. He completed his BSc in Botany in 1987 from Allahabad University. And subsequently, sir has achieved MSc in 1989 from the same university with a focus on botany. And Dr. Kumar further achieved his academic pursuits and received his PhD in 2008 from Lucknow University. So his PhD thesis was titled as a study on the genetic architecture of opium poppy in relevance to yield improvement. Throughout his illustrious career at CSIR CMAP, Dr. Virendra Kumar has held various significant positions, showcasing his expertise and dedication to botanical research. Sir commenced his journey as Scientist B on August 4, 1995, and has since progressed through roles such as Scientist C, Scientist E1, Principal Scientist, Senior Principal Scientist, and currently serve as the Chief Scientist from 4th August 2019 onwards. So Dr. Virendra Kumar is also a life member of several professional bodies, societies, and academies, including National Academy of Sciences, Allahabad, Indian Society of Genetics and Plant Breeding, New Delhi, Indian Society of Plant Genetic Resources, New Delhi, and various other spanning and various other societies. And he has been honored with various prestigious awards, including Lifetime Award, Distinguished Scientist Award, and Menthol Mint CSIR Technology Award, Golden Peacock Eco Innovation Award, and CSIR Award for SNT Innovation for Rural Development in recognition of his outstanding contribution in the field of genetics and crop improvement. Additionally, sir served as a member of Management Council of CMAP, member of Variety Release Committee of CSIR CMAP Lucknow, and member of committees for recruitment and selection. Moreover, he acts as an external examiner for UG and PG students in Allahabad University and Mahatma Gandhi Central University, East Champaran. So Dr. Kumar holds a position as a principal investigator and co-principal investigator in total 21 sponsored projects in the field of medicinal and aromatic plants, and sir has delivered more than 40 oral presentations and published 65 papers in various seminars and symposium. He has guided more than 20 MSc and MTech students and 6 PhD students. So his research profile contribution include more than 100 research papers, 10 review papers, 5 book chapters in different reputed journals. Additionally, sir has authored 50 articles in various CSIR and ICR magazines and 8 technical bulletins. So as a principal plant breeder, Dr. Kumar has made notable contributions to development of three high-yielding varieties, namely CIM Patra of peppermint, CIM Mohawk of spearmint, and CIM Surus of peppermint. In addition to his role as PI, Dr. Kumar has been an active team member, dedicating his expertise to development of a total 29 high-yielding varieties of medicinal and aromatic plants. His proficiency has significantly impacted the successful breeding and release of these varieties, with a primary focus on enhancing productivity and ensuring quality in this vital sector. So, sir, your significant contribution extend to realm of intellectual property, with a total of 6 patents granted from both Indian and foreign authorities, and these patents encompass groundbreaking innovations in various medicinal and aromatic crops. Sir, so the role of sir as a researcher, mentor, and intellectual property contributor solidifies his impact on medicinal and aromatic plants research and development. Sir, I must say that you're truly an inspiration for all of us, and we are so lucky to witness your lecture today. And we are eager to hear you. So, sir, kindly enlighten us with your words. And over to you, sir.
थैंक यू हिमानी। मेरा इतना इंट्रोडक्शन देना जरूरी नहीं था। आई एम सिंपली साइंटिस्ट। आई एम वर्किंग फॉर द कंट्री एंड फार्मर्स। आई एम शेयरिंग आवर presentation. डेस्कटॉप पे है मेरे, कैसे आएगा मानी?
डॉक्टर साहब पहले पीपीटी को ओपन करके रखो।
अच्छा ठीक है।
हाँ, पीपीटी ओपन होगी सर पहले।
हाँ पीपीटी ओपन कर लिया।
हाँ, इसको ओपन करके रखो, फिर शेयरिंग पे जाओ आप दोबारा से।
ओके ओके
ठीक है
सर विजिबल है।
हाँ ठीक है। अभी
इसी को शेयर कर
स्लाइड शो मोड
हाँ,
कर
स्लाइड
दो।
शो।
यहाँ पे
ये सर जो लास्ट वाला है, ये फोर्थ वाला।
ये चीज
जी सर, इससे नेक्स्ट वाला।
ये
हाँ, यही वाला लास्ट वाला। जी सर।
आ गया।
आगे आगे डॉक्टर साहब।
ओके ओके थैंक यू। ऐसे जाएगा, पूरा दिख नहीं रहा है।
सर फिर से कर दीजिए शेयर।
एक मिनट इसको बंद कर दें। सब
मानी डॉक्टर साहब ने पीपीटी भेज रखा है क्या?
नहीं भेजा है।
नहीं सर।
नहीं सर।
ओके।
कहाँ से जाएगा?
डॉक्टर साहब ज्यादा दिक्कत है तो आप मेल कर दीजिए पीपीटी को।
मेल करते हैं अभी, मैं मेल
आप
कर।
ही कर दो। हिमानी
हाँ
को
सर।
पूछ लो किस आईडी पे मेल करना है।
हाँ
मुझे ही कर दीजिए सर, कर दीजिए
हाँ
मुझे।
डॉक्टर
इस मेल
मेहता
से
को
आया,
भेज दिया है।
इस मेल से आया था ना, उसी पे रिप्लाई कर
उसी
दीजिए।
उसी पे कर देना।
जी
हाँ।
सर।
देखिए भेज दिया हमने।
हाँ सर, देखता हूँ।
रिफ्रेश करो, रिफ्रेश मेल को,
एक मिनट। हाँ,
रिफ्रेश करो मेरी
अरे नहीं,
एफटेफएस पर थोड़ी काम
इसी से किया था मैंने को। मेल भी नहीं होगा।
नहीं है, इस पर नहीं किया उन्होंने। एक बार दीपेंद्र मेहता वाली
हाँ, इस पे तो मैंने, इससे तो कोई कम्युनिकेशन नहीं किया मैंने।
सब मेल किस आईडी पर किया?
इनको ये देखो,
नहीं उनको नहीं कह रहा मैं, इनको बोल रहा हूँ। वीर वीरेंद्र कुमार,
ये तो इन्होंने मांगा था जो।
अच्छा
ठीक है डॉक्टर साहब, स्लाइड शो कीजिए, आप देखें।
सर मेल नहीं आया अभी।
नहीं
तो
डॉक्टर
लास्ट वाली ऑप्शन से आ जाएगा स्लाइड शो
हाँ
में।
ठीक है, अभी आप कंटिन्यू कीजिए डॉक्टर साहब, स्लाइड दिख रहा है आपका।
अच्छा दिख रहा
हाँ
है ये
हाँ
मुझे।
दिख रहा है सर, दिख रहा
जी
है।
सर,
आप
विजिबल है।
स्टार्ट कीजिए डॉक्टर साहब।
ठीक,
स्टार्ट कर दीजिए।
ओके, थैंक यू। गुड आफ्टरनून, गुड इवनिंग टू ऑल। My topic is Mint technology for the agripreneurship development. All of you know that mint means the all species of mentha having aroma of the menthol, carbon, linalool, linyl acetate, and generally mints means the menthol mint, peppermint, spearmint, bergamot mint, scotch mint, pudina. 5 species are cultivated in the India. India is well known for the mentha arvensis. India is a leading country in the world in production as well as in the export. These are the 5. This is the mentha arvensis. This is the mentha peperata. Mentha peperata has 2 types of chemover. One is sweet ordered and another is menthofuran rich variety, and this is a mentha citrata, mentha spicata, and mentha cardiaca. Generally these varieties are have various commercial uses in different industries like pharma industries, perfume industries, flavoring industries, confectionery industries, for using cough syrup, toothpaste, chewing gum, pan masala, and many others items. Like you see, this is the photographs of the commercial products in the markets. Basically, these species have major chemical constituents like menthol, menthone, isomenthone, methyl acetate in menthol mint and peppermint, except menthofuran is present in the mentha peperata. Carbon, limonene, 1,8-cineol is present in mentha cardiaca and mentha spicata, while mentha citrata has linalool and linyl acetate as major chemical constituents and used in the perfumery industry. In all species, the oil content varied 0.8 to 0.01% in menthol content, 0.3 to 0.5% in peppermint, and in 0.4 to 0.6% in spearmint. Generally in India, mentha arvensis cultivated by farmers in many areas because this is the best suited for soils of the country where there are some problem in raising food and agricultural crop during summer season. In this farming, small farmers are involved because their family members can work as laborers. During summer crops, some pets, wild animals affected the crops, but these crops needs irrigation water in April to June must be sufficient. As a transplanted crop, it can be used during summer seasons. CMAP has developed various varieties on the menthol mint like Kosi, Simsarvi, Simkranti, Simonnati. In peppermint, Kukrail, Tusar, Maduras, these are the seed-ordered variety. Simindus, Simpatra, having menthofuran-rich variety, and Simsurus is recently developed by CMAP, having less than 1% menthofuran content. In spearmint, MSS5, Varka Nira, Nirkalka is the variety largely cultivated by MSS5 on the largest scale, and Simmohak in the Badayu and Rampur areas. Wherein the bergamot mint, this is the Kiran. In menthol mint, cultivated is more than 3 lakh hectares, while peppermint, spearmint, bergamot mint cultivated it not more than 5,000 hectares in the country. Therefore, India exported menthol mint oil, but in the peppermint and spearmint, they are importing from the other countries. This is the planting, how plant these crops. If farmers planted menthol mint or peppermint, spearmint, bergamot mint by their runners or suckers during the month of January, February, if they want to plant through transplanting methods during March and April after wheat, after potato, lahi harvesting. And the sucker production or runner production for the menthol mint, the best season is September, October, while in peppermint, spearmint and bergamot also this is the best season for that. And in this figure, you see this type of menthol mint suckers are good for the cultivation, and this is the very bad because it takes infestation from the suckers to the field conditions, and they reduce the crop yield for the farmers, and their input cost is increasing by the using this type of suckers. And this is the methods how to develop menthol mint nursery for the transplanting methods. First, you cut this small in pieces like this, and you prepare a bed, and on the bed you throw the cutted runner suckers of the plants, and so for the raising of nursery. And when runners of the spearmint, bergamot mint, and peppermint used, this is the good type of runners for the cultivation of these peppermint, spearmint, bergamot mint. And this is the figure, so this is the methods. And there is two types of method. One is direct method through the suckers or runners, and another method is the raising of the nursery seedlings like this, and after completion of the seedling at the stage of the length of 5 to 7 centimeters, they can be planted in the field conditions. This is the about the menthol details. Because in the present situation, the one problems came in the India by entry of the synthetic menthol. By entry of the synthetic menthol, the price of the menthol mint oil is decreased because they are industry preferring synthetic menthols. Then CMAP has developed one early mint technology for the enhancing productivity of the menthol using earlier released variety. What is synthetic menthol? What is EMT? Where EMT used? Where the lack of cropping period due to variability in preceding and succeeding crop grown at different farmers' fields, because the high water requirement, because low possibility of second cuttings, and its productivity because due to in June last week the uncertain rains comes and crops were damaged in the field of farmers. And more expenses on the weed management, problems caused by the availability of excess water in standing crops, reducing market rates. These are the problems facing by the growers. They are demoralized how they grow that and get the net benefit, maximum benefit from their per unit area from his field. Then early technology developed by CMAP for this is the new method for production of planting materials, that is suckers or roots. That is the planting of old plantlets on both sides of ridges. New method of raising seedling from sucker in winter season. If you want to raise the seedlings in the winter season, you use polyhouse, polytunnel, polycore methods for the raising seedlings, and plant in the ridge methods by enhancing plant population with delay in planting, and harvesting at initial wilting points, because the preparation before harvesting and precaution to be taken at harvesting, and some using improved distillation methods in place of common used methods by the farmers. This is the method of sucker production in the EMT technology. The plantlets obtained from old plantlets. This is the planting methods. They are planted ridges on both sides, and sucker crop ready for digging. This is the ready for the and sucker obtained by new method. This is the sucker production through EMT methods for getting maximum sucker production per unit area. And if you see in the table, the time taking that in the through traditional methods about 180 days, while in the EMT 150 days. That is, we save 30 days from the production of the sucker production times, durations. Then poor, most of the time, this is always good. Disease infestation in traditional method, that is 20 to 30%, but in case of EMT, this is almost nil. And average yield of the sucker from the traditional methods 1 to 1.5 kg per meter square, during in the EMT 2 to 3 kg per meter square, because they are planted at the ridges, both sides of the ridges. And area required for production of 100 kg suckers, that is 60 to 100 meters square, while in case of EMT 40 to 50 meters squares. And in this method, traditional methods, for the during the sucker production, we are unable to get any oil production. But in EMT methods, we can achieve 50 to 60 kg oil per hectare as an additional benefit. If you compare for the cost of production, here in traditional method 7 rupees per kg, while in EMT just half. What is the advantage of early EMT technology over the traditional practice? Because it reduces the cropping period by 20 to 30 days in single cutting and 30 to 50 days in double cutting. Productivity and economic returns are better in second cutting as against poor under traditional practice. Water requirement reduced by 25 to 30%. And losses due to excess water in standing crop is reduced, because they are early planted in through the ridges, on the ridges, and they can take harvest in April and second harvest in June. They get maximum yield per unit area, and reduction in weed incidence about 20 to 30% in first cutting and 40 to 50% double cutting, second cutting. and reduction in cost of seed trial, labor, fuel, water requirement during for the processing. If you compare oil production by traditional method and EMT methods, we get total expenditure about 65,000 per hectare, and in the EMT about 50,000 per hectare. And oil yield production from traditional method we get 140 kg, while in EMT we get 150 kg per hectare. And total net income from the traditional method we can get 75,000, and from EMT 1 lakhs. And this will help to farmers getting the maximum profit per unit area in the challenging phase of the. If we compare inputs in the on the based of the single harvest and double harvest, and time required 20 to 30 days less. Irrigation is also 25 to 30% less. Weed management is also that. Labor 25 to 30% less, and fuel is approximately equal. And this is the benefit of the EMT technology. EMT can bring earliness about 20 to 50 days with minimizing expenditure. Land, labor, water, and fuel about 30%, and about 30% increase essential oil. The cost of oil production reduces 35%, that is rupees 260 per kg in EMT against 425 rupees per kg in traditional practices. That is the high input, low output, and in case of EMT, low input and high output. After that, the in mentholment, we the Badaयूं and Bareilly area, the peppermint are cultivated. That is 4 varieties developed by CMAP, Kukural, Tusar, Pranjal, and Maduras, and 2 penthofuran rich variety developed by CMAP, Simindus, and Simpatra. In Simindus, the menthofuran content about 25% only available at the flowering stage, while the 5 to 15% menthofuran present in the Simindus. But in case of Simpatra, this is a non-flowering condition, and here menthofuran content is 35 to 46%. Actually, menthofuran rich variety is very essential, because the farmer industry needs some value addition of the dementholized oil. जो सिम्पात्रा को इसलिए लोगों ने उस समय इंडस्ट्री डिमांड करने लगी, क्योंकि मेंथोफ्यूरान कंटेंट ये लोग सिंथेटिक वे से बनाने लगे थे, जिसमें जो है बाहर जब वैल्यू एडिशन करते थे डीएमओ का, तो उनमें उनको पकड़ा जाने लगा। तो इसलिए उन लोगों ने कहा कि हमको नेचुरल मेंथोफ्यूरान रिच वैरायटी चाहिए, जिस ताकि जो है इसके ऑयल से हम सब्स्टिट्यूशन कर सकें और उसको डीमेंथलाइज ऑयल का वैल्यू एडिशन कर सकें। And this is the agro practices. The climate required tropical to subtropical, and best soil is sandy loam to clay loam, and it is propagated through runners, sometimes rooted plantlets, spacing 50 to 60 centimeter, and best season for the planting is December to January, and for the 1 hectare runner as planting material required is fulfilled from the 200 meter squares, and irrigation required 7 to 10 number of irrigations, and herb yield about 2 to 225 quintal per hectare, and oil yield about 70 to 100 kg per hectare. While in case of Simundus and Simpatra, this is about half, 40 to 50 to 60 kg per hectares. Actually, peppermint crops is not popular among the farmers only due to poor oil yield. The farmers are always comparing with menthol mint oil, because menthol mint oil, you have already seen 150 kg per hectare, while in case of mentha peperita, it is yield as 100 kg per hectare. And if price is of the mentha peperita is about 1500 per kg, and Arvensis 1000 rupees per kg, and you compare, the economics is not good for the cultivation of peppermint by the growers. That's why they are not. Keeping these problems in mind, we have developed recently variety Simsuras. This variety has more than 100 kg per hectare, and menthol content is 68.7%, and menthofuran 0.66%, and oil content about 0.6 to 0.75%, and harvest within about 100 days. And this variety has a unique character that it can be planted as a nursery raised after the wheat, after the cutting of the potato, lahi, and wheat, like menthol mint. And it can be planted, it can be cultivated by direct method as well as transplanted methods. And this dementholized oil can be used as American peppermint oil after taking menthol from this variety. Another this is the spearmint variety, like Arka, Nira, MSS5, Nirkalka. These are the popular variety among the farmers. And this is the cultivation practices of the spearmint. This is they are the cultivated for the carbon and limonene, and these are also planted during the December, January. And sandy loam is best suited soil conditions, and oil content range from 0.6%, and oil yield about 60 to 100 kg per hectare. Recently, we have developed one variety, Sim Mohak, having about more than 100 to 100 kg oil per hectare, and this variety has uniqueness that it can also be cultivated by the suckers like menthol mint, and it can be also by the transplanting methods after the potato and wheats. And Sim Mohak of the spearmint and Sim Suras of the peppermint can be able to revolutionize the area under cultivation in the Uttar Pradesh and other states, adjoining states. There are some distillation units developed by CMAPs for the farmers, and this is the improved field distillation unit, and this is the silent technical features, like it is better oil recovery, 10 to 15% higher than the local distillation unit, and more fuel efficient, that is 20 to 30% fuel saving, no chance of pressure buildup. And this is the cohabitation type distillation unit. Here also 30 to 40% time saving, 20 to 30% fuel saving. This is the design developed by our CMAP. And another is the Asvika type methods for the small distillation, like rose water and other things. It can be used for the very small farmer for the preparation of rose water and other things. And this is the recently developed our CMAP as a mobile distillation unit. This is a tractor mounted, and it moves from the place to place where farmers needs to distance. This is the Desi type of distillation unit, and it is very dangerous for the farmers, and this is the already I have shared. And this is my teacher and my guru, Dr. N.K. Patra. He is developed various variety like Kosi. In India, Kosi is the only variety of the menthol mint which able to develop country as a first in the world for the production as well as in the export as our India, and they raise economy of the farmers, poor farmers of the country, and they are also these varieties very popular among the farmers. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the wonderful presentation and information, sir. And we have got few questions to ask about the topics. So the
Yeah.
first question is like, what is the scope of this mint and other medicinal and aromatic plants cultivation if somebody is going to opt it for agripreneurship?
Actually, this variety, these spearmint and menthol mint variety, well known and well established varieties and crops and varieties in the India. If you see the example of Barabanki, very poor farmers growing, and they itself develop own oil as a cash crop, and some youngsters involved in the purchasing and selling of the menthol menthol, and they developed as a self-help group among the local area, which enhances the economy of the rural youth as well as farmers, and they also developed a small hub for the selling and marketing. केवल मेंथा यही एक ऐसा क्रॉप है मैडम जो किसान के घर जाकर के लोग खरीद के ले जाते हैं, और ये तेल एक शीशी में तेल भर के ले जाते हैं, दुकान पे बेचते हैं और 500 रुपए 1000 रुपए लेके चले आते हैं. दिस जस्ट लाइक ए चेक दिस क्रॉप्स. तो इसमें कोई वेल एस्टेब्लिश्ड मॉडल है कंट्री में ये मिंट टेक्नोलॉजी का एग्रीप्रेन्योरशिप डेवलपमेंट के लिए.
जी सर. और सर जो वेराइटीज आपने बताई अभी सी मैप की, CSIR सी मैप की, वो वेराइटीज ऑल ओवर इंडिया ग्रो कर सकते हैं, लाइक साउथ इंडिया में तमिलनाडु महाराष्ट्र
यस यस, हमारी जितनी भी वेराइटीज हैं, अब जैसे मेंथा पेपरेटा के लिए क्लाइमेटिक कंडीशन टेम्परेट की होनी चाहिए. मेंथा आर्वेंसिस के लिए ट्रॉपिकल सब ट्रॉपिकल क्लाइमेटिक कंडीशन होना चाहिए. आर्वेंस अगर आप मेंथा आर्वेंसिस जैसे कोसी है, इसको अगर आप चाहेंगे नॉर्थ ईस्ट में ग्रो कराना तो वहाँ इज वेरी डिफिकल्ट. बट अगर आप वहाँ पे हमारी जो वेराइटी है, जैसे पेपरमिंट की वेराइटी मैंने सिमसुरस डेवलप किया, वो आप वहाँ पे डेवलप कर सकते हैं. जो हमने स्पीयरमिंट की वेराइटी डेवलप किया, वो वहाँ पे वहाँ पे कल्टीवेशन हो सकता है. क्यों? क्योंकि वो उसको हम लोगों ने इस तरह से डेवलप करके इस तरह से बना दिया कि वो वेरियस जितने भी अलग अलग टाइप के क्लाइमेटिक कंडीशन है वहां पे वो ग्रो हो सकते हैं.
Okay sir, okay, thank you sir. Very wonderful presentation, and we are getting lot of messages that the presentation is very good and it was self-explanatory and it was an amazing session, sir. So thank you for the valuable information, and I'm very sure that participants have got the maximum knowledge from you.
Thank you, madam. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, and have a great evening.
Thank you. Same to you.
Participants, on behalf of BIOTECH and Agriculture Forum for Technical Education of Farming Society and the entire organizing team of this training program, I deliver my heartfelt gratitude to all the honorable speakers and participants for joining this training program today. and being so patient and attentive throughout. So, and for the day 2, we will resume tomorrow, and all the details will be sent to the WhatsApp group, and you can check out there and you can join tomorrow. So thank you all and have a great evening.
Yes, Himani, one thing, please clear that whether link for the session 2, day 2 will be separate or the same?
So link will be sent in the WhatsApp
Same.
group itself.
Same link or separate?
सेम ही रहेगा सर.
Okay, because
Try to keep the same. Try to keep the same.
Yes.
कुछ लोग जो है वो व्हाट्सएप पे दिक्कत होता है,
हाँ हाँ.
उसको मेल पे भेजेंगे, जैसे हमें प्रॉब्लम होती है, हाँ, तो कुछ लोगों को आप मेल पे भी भेजें, दोनों को भेजें, मेल पे भी भेजें
जी
तो
सर.
ज्यादा
भेजा है सर, मेल पे भेजा है.
जी जी.
लिंक सेम रहेगा सर, सेम लिंक.
because Dr. Vista from Nepal, he is asking. So
Okay.
I have not shared yet. That maybe it will be a different link. Now I will share.
Definitely sir.
So thank you, sir, and thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you sir.
Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you,
Thanks.
Imani, for nice anchoring, and thank you, Dr. Mehta,
Thank you sir.
for successful organization of this event.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
So I think we should leave now.
Definitely sir. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay sir. कर दूं सर.